Wow, I'm really white.
I told you, it's white balance.
I think I underestimated how bad the white balance is.
Just do like exposure and then put a white piece of paper in front of it. Like, you get it. Future reference.
Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. But for now, welcome back. I was going to do like a weird like sports announcer intro, but then I looked at myself in the camera like, wow, this is bad even for me.
I don't know those kind of problems. I don't have those.
No. I think me and Grant were joking around about it in the Grumpus review, where it's like, one day just going to be like me, I'm going to be like Gandalf the White at the end of Two Towers, look to the east and you see like a shining beacon, and there will be I.
Yes, coming down from the hills of pseudo Gilroy.
Exactly.
The hills. Like, dude... Don't even get me started. That is not Gilroy.
It's close enough.
Close enough, but that is not Gilroy.
All right. So we were talking about Creed. Obviously, we got a little Creed poster in the background there.
I got it from the Salinas Maya Theater. A cool thing that they do is when their movies premiere, they leave promotional posters out on the desk after you come out and see the movie, so you can grab one.
I know some theaters do that. Not a lot. Not the ones we go to, unfortunately. I always have a lot more posters.
But yeah, Maya's pretty cool, man. If you're in that area, I definitely recommend you go to their theaters. And if you have kids, which I do, they have crying rooms as well. So
there's crying rooms?
Yeah, where you can just go in there and there's a little booth and
that's awesome.
My youngest son has special needs, so we sit down there and he can just
work it out,
go crazy, and
that's genius. Why don't more people do that? All right, so
I don't know.
So we've been trying to get to go do this review for like a solid week now, and shit just kept coming up.
Yes, well, mostly to do with my health, but that's a whole nother story.
Oh my god!
Thank you for holding out for me because I really enjoyed this movie, and I really wanted to talk to you about it.
Oh, it's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a fantastic movie. I mean, I guess we gotta have to talk about our own knowledge of the Rocky franchise before getting into this, because I was never a huge fan growing up. My dad watched it a lot, so I pretty much know everything that happens in all the movies, but I was never a huge fan. I appreciate it now more that I'm older.
Okay.
But back then I was like, what's this boxing movie my dad keeps watching every day?
Well, and I think that's due to I'll pull the age card again.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's due to the age gap between us. You know what I mean? I'm 83, so when I was born, Rocky was about halfway through its series.
Oh, I said like you're 83 years old. Holy crap! You're either lied about your age all this time, or you look fantastic.
I'm a vampire
for 83.
Yeah, you'd think if I was a vampire, I wouldn't carry so much weight around, but
people are more likely to confuse me for a vampire than you.
I still like pizza. I can't taste it, but I still like it. So anyway, so I was born in 1983, and so by that point, I think we're about 3 movies in to the Rocky franchise. Okay, so. I think Rocky was huge, and the themes that permeate our film existence, if you love films, is just the overall theme of a underdog who makes good and then has to deal with what that means. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's less about the action of Rocky movies, because let's face it, Rocky's not that great of a boxer. But Rocky just happens to be able to take tons of punches and not fall down.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
so it wasn't until the 3rd movie that he actually learned how to box.
I mean, I think that's how he beat Mr. T, right? He just basically took punches until he got tired.
Well, yeah, because and which will segue into Creed very well, because Rocky has this thing in which he becomes the champ after beating a superior black boxer who in that universe is the Muhammad Ali of his era. Like, nobody thinks he can be beaten, but because of Rocky's endurance, the first fight is a draw, and the second fight they KO each other, but Rocky gets back up. Right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So after that, Rocky's been the champ for a while. He makes tons of money. He's doing movies, TV, whatever. Hulk Hogan, I think, is in the 3rd one.
Is Hulk Hogan in the 3rd one? I don't even know.
He like wrestles him or something. Whatever.
Okay.
But the whole point is that Rocky becomes a celebrity, and then because of that, he loses some of his edge. So the next hungry black boxer, Mr. T's character, is training like crazy, wanting to beat Rocky, and Rocky's taking it easier than he usually takes it. So so Mr. T is able to defeat him the first time, and as a result of that, Rocky has to actually train in boxing, and Apollo Creed becomes his trainer. So that's when they really forge their friendship, rather than just competitive rivals who respect each other. Now it's like an actual friendship.
Yeah.
So from there it goes to.
Like, it's kind of funny watching this movie because all I could think of, this is, it's a great movie, don't get me wrong. But the one part that made me laugh is that it wants you to remember that Apollo died in Rocky IV and nothing else from that movie.
Right.
Because nothing else that happens in Rocky IV is mentioned at all.
Right.
Drago doesn't even get a passing mention.
Well, we're gonna assume that if you know that Apollo died in that film, then you know what happened to Dolph Lundgren.
This is still
we're gonna assume that because that becomes another part of Rocky's story. It ends up being Apollo's final act. But it's just another feather in Rocky's cap at that point, right? Which creates a painful memory, which again segues into this very nicely. Because the history of Apollo Creed, his legacy, still permeates the entire thing. Whenever somebody comes up to Rocky at his restaurant in the last two movies, they're like, "Oh,
yeah, you did this.
How are you cool with Creed and this, that, and the other, right?" They're always talking about Apollo. The picture is up there of the secret fight that happened that nobody knows about, which was in the third one as well.
Okay.
It's at the end of the third one, where they decide to go into the ring and to see who's just better once and for all. They don't have any audience there. They don't have anything. They just fight, right? And that's the fight that they refer to
in this movie.
This movie. So. Should we give brief synopsis, or?
We can talk about the
or are we gonna keep going through Rocky movies?
I think we've kind of said our piece about the Rocky movies.
Okay.
So we just jump right into Creed. The movie is it's pretty basic, and that's what I think when the Rocky stories work best is when it's telling a simple story.
Yes, it's way more akin to, for those of you that know them all and haven't seen this, it's way more akin to the first Rocky movie than it is to any of the others. I would say it captures the original spirit of that original film.
Because takes place, of course, a couple decades after I'm assuming the events of the fourth movie, where, of course, Rocky is retired, he's working on a restaurant now, and this young startup played with Michael B. Jordan, who, God bless him, he needed this movie so badly.
He did.
He needed this movie so badly.
All black actors needed him to play something good in this movie. We all needed it.
I've always loved Michael B. Jordan back when I saw him back in Parenthood. I've always liked Michael B. Jordan. And God, after the disaster that was Fantastic Four, he needed a good movie. So I'm so happy that he got a good movie and he's really good in it.
He is. So we know that it's not him, which is good.
Yeah.
It might have blown some roles for him. Had it been the other way around.
Oh yeah, if Fantastic Four is the last movie he was in, this could have been a lot worse. But thankfully his career, if I make a comeback, will survive that.
Absolutely, and yeah, that's also a testament to his dedication and his chops as an actor. He didn't give up, and he buried his head in something else and came back out with something good. That's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, and so this movie involves this is Creed's son, illegitimate son.
Illegitimate, and this is important. This is important. Between the time of 3 and 4, he fathers an illegitimate son outside of his marriage, right? And that's important because of this revelation, Apollo's son never gets to meet him because he dies shortly afterwards.
Yeah,
that's big.
And of course, so Apollo's wife, or I guess widow at this point.
Yeah, Felicia Rashad.
Yeah.
Who you guys would know from The Cosby Show if you're my age.
Yeah, I watched The Cosby Show.
She's Bill Cosby's wife.
It makes me sad to talk about The Cosby Show now.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, let's not focus on that.
No, that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, we could go off. Bottom line, Felicia Rashad is a brilliant actress, and she has been for many years. It's good to see her again.
Yeah, I know. I knew it. Now I know where I've seen her before. She looked familiar, but I couldn't place her. But anyway.
And her sister is actually, side note, just movie trivia. Her sister is actually Debbie Allen from Fame, the famous choreographer.
Okay.
They're sisters.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Sweet. There you go. The more you know. She adopts Creed. What's his first name in this movie?
Adonis.
Adonis, that was it. So
which I thought was a nice touch.
What's I referring to exactly?
Adonis is when you say somebody has Adonis DNA, it's Greek god.
Oh, right. Yeah, Greek mythology.
Apollo is the sun god.
Oh.
Get it?
Okay, that's clever. That actually is pretty clever.
I thought it was a brilliant touch, right? But he calls himself Donnie. He hides it, but his full name is Adonis Creed.
Oh, that's actually pretty clever. Okay, so yeah, she adopts him, and then he lives a very kind of pampered lifestyle. He has a nice car, he has a very nice home, lives in his mansion with his mom, or like his adopted mom.
Right.
But he still loves boxing. Like he watches old Apollo fights on YouTube, and he goes on to boxing rings, and he goes over to Mexico to win fights over there.
Right.
And that's how he gets like the good record that he has going into the actual boxing career. And then he decides he wants to do this for a living, so he decides to move out to, I think, New York, right? New York's.
Yeah, no, he goes to
Chicago.
No, it's Philadelphia.
Philadelphia
Is where Rocky lives.
Okay, so he moves into Philadelphia to try to like make it on his own as a boxer. Obviously, Apollo's wife has issues for very obvious reasons.
Yeah. Right.
For very obvious reasons.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. So along the way, he makes a connection with Rocky, and then after kind of some pushback, Rocky finally realizes, like, okay, yeah, I can see the Apollo in him, so he kind of like takes under his wing.
Yeah, and this is another important part of the Rocky series because remember, this is not the first time that Rocky has decided to train somebody.
Yeah,
it has happened once or twice before. Mm-hmm. Rocky V, that was the whole movie. He brings up this protege, and the protege turns on him. They end up having this huge street fight just in the street.
I know.
And so
was Rocky V the most recent one before this one? Or?
No, the most recent one was Rocky Balboa. Okay. That was the one where he is super retired and he goes back in the ring to fight this young guy, and he still goes 12 rounds with him.
Yeah, I remember that ending to that one. I was like, okay, I'm thinking of a movie. Yeah,
right. But no, Rocky V was when the backstory was that he lost all his money because his money manager stole all the money and left the country.
Well, that's a bad.
And so they had to sell the house. So his family goes from being super rich to super poor.
Oh, they lost the robot?
They lost the robot.
They lost the robot. Damn.
They lost the robot, man.
But everyone can change. Maybe
But yeah.
It's weird that Rocky IV is what I know the most of the movie.
That is so funny. But yeah, 5 is about him seeking to train a protege and how that goes horribly wrong because he's showing him all the secrets he has, but he doesn't have Rocky's heart, so he's not gonna.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was basically the message of the story, that that the business was too far gone. The boxing business was all messed up.
But everyone can change. You just need to give another rousing speech. He could have changed his ways.
Well, I don't know, man.
He changed all of Russia. He can change one kid.
See, at this point though, Rocky can't even talk, man.
Okay, fair enough. He can never really talk. We are talking about Sylvester Stallone here.
Yeah, but it got worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and then the Expendables came, and he kind of came back a little bit.
Right. Well, no. Understand that Rocky is a character.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like the way he talks, that's like patented Rocky character. Mm-hmm. Well, if you talk to Sylvester Stallone or you see him in something else, he can speak.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like let's
put that.
Let's get that out. We just know him to be Rocky more than anybody else. So it's Rocky and Rambo. Rambo, he barely ever talks. Rocky, you don't know what the fuck he's trying to say. So, so between those two, he's somewhere in the between, right? So, but yeah, this is what this is about. So this is why it becomes a rub for Rocky, because it's like, okay, not only am I, thinking about training this kid, this has gone horribly wrong before, but this is Apollo Creed's only son.
Yeah.
And he's my best friend. And he's dead, and
Rocky
he wants to follow in his
footsteps,
right? Right. So there's that part of the rub. I mean, as far as boxing goes, the intrigue with that. But there's also another really cool thing that they added. Another good touch was that Mickey's gym which was completely barren by the end of the third or fourth movie.
Yeah, something like that.
Has now been revitalized. Mickey's family has taken over the gym, and now they're actually kind of butting heads with Rocky because they want him to endorse their boxer out of Mickey's gym, but he's going with the Creed kid, right?
Which caused some tension there.
Right.
And the most unsettled, I won't tell anybody.
Right,
in the movie I've seen in a long time, like, how long until he rats him out? Like a scene later.
And mark my words, that plot line is coming back. If they do another one,
this one's been pretty successful. I hope they do another one.
If they do another one, that's foreshadowing. Like I see Mickey's gym playing a bigger role next time. Like because they left Mickey's gym and went to go train somewhere else, and now I have a feeling that they're gonna start throwing more boxers at Creed.
That'd be an interesting direction to take it.
You know what I mean? Which will create a emotional conflict for Rocky again, which just makes for a good movie.
Just the characters movies are just so great. I mean, Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone work really well with each other.
They do, and it's a shame. It's a shame that Apollo Creed is dead because I really would have liked to see Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers would have been great.
But no, I really like what we got. I mean, it's a pretty basic underdog story from there. I mean, they eventually rise up and he takes down the most powerful boxer in the world right now.
Right.
But doesn't beat him, but he knocks him down, which again is very Rocky-esque.
It's Rocky 1-esque because the point has been proven.
Yeah.
Whether or not he won was not the point.
No.
The point was that this no-name dude came out of nowhere and showed you that he is a force to be reckoned with. And this guy that we're talking about, the champ, he's actually going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to be able to even hold on his title. He's going to vacate the belt, and then
most likely, why I was like, the last fight was with Creed's kid is what they wanted to do.
Right.
But they did the way this is done, it is very smart, and it's very symbolic of the franchise itself, and kind of in a way too. I noticed that because it's all about how he wants to make a name for himself. But he's also constantly plagued by the shadow of the legend that kind of came before him.
Right.
Until towards the end, he kind of learns to accept that, but still make it his own. Which I thought was a very smart way of very good character arc for Michael B. Jordan's character, and also very, very clever metaphor for the series in general. Because again, this is still like a Rocky movie. Like it looks really and feels like a Rocky movie, but at the same time, it's taking what works and it's making it its own thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what I liked was respect for the characters that weren't there anymore. You know what I mean? And Sylvester Stallone is always so good with that. So Paulie dies now, and Paulie is right next to Adrian in the gravesite.
Yeah,
and I thought that was a nice touch because usually we're used to seeing Paulie is always coming out of the woodwork, drinking, talking some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was almost sad that he wasn't there because you hate him, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's a Rocky movie without him being there, being an ass.
Yeah, I guess not.
You know what I mean? Like in Rocky Balboa in the sixth one, Rocky takes Paulie around the neighborhood to revisit and relive all the moments where he met Adrian and all that shit, and he's just talking shit to him the whole way. It's so funny, but yeah, I thought that was a nice touch. I like the respect for Apollo Creed, even though he's been gone in this franchise for quite some time. It's the first time they ever talked about him as if he was like the greatest, which I thought was again a nice touch. It seems like when Sylvester Stallone writes. He accounts for every variable. His continuity is always on point. And I really respect that about his work.
Well, it's like when
he puts that out.
The characters in this movie are also very well written and very consistent too, in ways that it kind of goes against cliche, and I was very happy about that. Particularly in this movie, Creed has a girlfriend who's she's like a singer, one of those kind of hopeful, but she's slowly going deaf, so she's kind of doing as well as she can. But she has this big show that she's got, a big opening that she's very excited for, and of course, Michael B. Jordan's he's very supportive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Until he gets there, and someone starts poking him by calling him Baby Creed, which ends exactly the kind of stupid macho bullshit way that you expect it to, where Michael B. Jordan starts punching the crap out of him. Which, of course, ruins the thing. And I was terrified. I was like, oh, don't tell me she's just going to let him slip past that, because that was an incredibly douchebag thing to do.
Yeah.
But no, she doesn't. She doesn't let him get away with it.
She shuts him down. Yeah, that was the main character from Dear White People, by the way.
Oh yeah, I knew. Again, another one. I was like, I know I've seen her somewhere.
Gorgeous, talented young actress. I can't remember her name right now, but
because
she's great.
I forget names, but
she's great.
No, but like, so I was like, oh, thank God, she's not letting him get away with this, because I was terrified. So it's because that's a lot of these movies go down. It's like, oh, it's all about you. I gotta support your dreams. You know, it's like that kind of thing, that kind of self-sacrifice. And it's like, no.
Are you kidding me right now? Edit this out.
We're gonna take a commercial break.
That didn't happen.
Sure it didn't. Yeah. The power of editing, it didn't. And
you can do it right there. All right.
I can take some Pinnacle and do it in like 5 seconds.
Okay.
But anywho, so yeah, where we're talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about
and not only did she just shut him down, she did him hella dirty too. Like she closed the door, took her hearing aids out. I was fucked.
Yeah, I was a little fucked.
She's like, nope, don't hear anything.
But you gotta think it's gotta be kind of a blessing in disguise. Really, we don't want to hear someone talk. It's going.
Yeah, that's cold blooded.
And no one would ever know. They just talk into like, yes, going to my quiet place now. I hate you. I mean, I was kind of disappointed that she came back later with no explanation, really. She would just kind of just pop back up and she was just there for the rest of the movie.
Well, I mean, that's how relationships sometimes go. You know what I mean? Like, and it's implied that Rocky had been talking to her on low key.
Yeah.
Trying to get her to come back. You know what I mean? So... yeah, that was sort of like a favor that he did for.
Yeah, I guess. And it was one of those things. It wasn't a big enough deal for me to make a huge thing about. It was like, okay, that's something.
It was kind of a plot hole, but when she shows up at the hotel room and like Rocky's joking about it, it's kind of like fixed.
Yeah, same time. I was kind of hoping they'd have another scene where they kind of talked about it a bit more, but I don't know. That just made me kind of wanting to see them do more with that a little bit.
But also I think they didn't do it because it just gives weight to something that really wasn't that big of a fucking deal. Like,
well, it was a big deal to her.
Well, it was a big deal to her, but at the same time, I mean,
not entirely relevant to the story.
Yeah, it wasn't relevant to what's going on with him, and he was a douchebag. But really, in the grand scheme of things, it was like.
Yeah,
whatevs.
I mean, it's a minor nitpick, but that's just something I was like, I kind of wish maybe there's like a deleted scene or something.
I know what you mean, but I also know why they left it out.
Yeah, I mean, I get it too. It's more like wishful thinking. But yeah, other than that, just the boxing scenes are great too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
we gotta talk about that.
Let's talk about that, okay? Because the boxing scenes in all Rocky movies are shit.
Really? You think so?
They're all shit. If you've ever actually boxed before, you know that is not how it goes. Okay, and here's the thing. Well, okay, I'll retract my previous statement back a little bit. The scenes in the 6th movie were good too. Okay, but the Creed movie completely fixes what I always thought was the weakest point of the franchise, which was the fights. Mm-hmm. Okay. The thing back then was they didn't have the technology or maybe they did have the technology but they didn't use it properly.
Oh, it was the 80s.
So in the 80s, the way they shot the fights in the film looked like you were watching the fights on TV. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The brilliant thing they did with Creed was that they tightened up the shots. Yeah. And they actually took the hits.
Oh, did they actually hit each other?
Well, yeah, there's some of them you couldn't fake. Oh, yeah. Right? There's some of them you couldn't fake, but the camera angles for the fights make the entire fight look plausible every single time. Even the sparring sessions, even the training sessions, it all looks real. And that is the biggest gripe that I have with the Rocky franchise, especially when you get into the big fights and they're very cinematic, like what's the one in Rocky 2? Mm-hmm. Literally for an entire round, Apollo Creed just punches him and Rocky just. Okay.
Like a bobblehead.
Yeah, man. He's just getting hit, and he's just sitting there, and he doesn't even have his hands up. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't.
Well, he said Rocky wasn't a great boxer.
He really wasn't. He really wasn't.
And yet he gets a statue.
Well, again, it's about his endurance. It has nothing to do with his skill, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the premise that if you work hard at something, you can get what you want. Right? That's really
at its core.
But what I love about this director and how he framed the boxing matches was it completely does away with all of that. I'm hoping that from now on in this franchise you have the visuals for the fights the way that they were done here.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, let's take an example from another movie that came out a few years ago, The Fighter. Did you see that one?
The I saw Southpaw. I didn't see Fighter.
The Fighter was one that was...
And Southpaw was actually really good too with the way they shot the scenes.
Yeah, like we didn't see. I think we were busy at the time, so we didn't go to see that one because that was a busy time of the year. But no,
The Fighter, who was that? Was that Wahlberg?
That was Wahlberg. That was Wahlberg and Bale. That was the one that Bale got nominated for.
Oh no, I saw that on my own though. Yeah, I saw that a while ago.
No, that's a great movie.
No, I have seen that movie. The one where Christian Bale plays his brother and he fought Sugar Ray Leonard and all that.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. That's another good example of just great boxing scenes. The fact that you can make it look incredibly authentic.
Yes, and the last couple of boxing movies that have come out have done a really good job. I'm just saying that the history of the Rocky franchise is not great when it comes to the fights.
You're just gonna get a bunch of hate mail from Rocky fans now.
Well, you guys can hate me, but you guys know that's not why you watch the movies.
That's true.
Okay, you watch the movies because you watch him go through that shit. And don't get me wrong. Watching those fights is an incredibly emotional experience every time you watch it. Because you want him to do well, you know all of his backstory, and he's just getting hammered. Okay? He's getting tortured in the fucking ring and getting his ass beat almost every time. Right? Except
makes you wonder why he went through 6 movies.
Yeah. 3 and 4, he kind of his whole style changes. So it's much better. But 1 and 2, he's just... Apollo puts him through the fucking ringer, dude. Like, he whoops his ass. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so him getting battered is part of the story. But I just wish that they would have had the visuals better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there were just things that they think about now with lighting and positioning that they just didn't think about back then, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I guess. I mean, technology has changed so radically since the 80s,
right.
obviously.
But anybody who wants to yell at me or put bad comments on here, I challenge you. Go back and watch those fights and then watch the fights from Creed. You'll see the difference. You'll be like, oh, that's what was missing.
You are talking about the internet, though, so I don't think that's going to go fly very well. But we can dream.
Meh.
Yeah, fair enough.
Internet is the internet.
Yeah, I know. But oddly enough, I keep saying people are going to get hate mail. I never actually do get hate mail, unless God forbid I say Batman vs Superman might suck, in which case I get all kinds of hate comments.
Well, let's get into those because I want to talk about trailers and I got some fears, bro.
Yeah, so do I.
I got some fears, and not just about that one.
Oh, really?
I
don't even remember what trailers I got. But we could talk about whatever trailers I've heard. Okay, I've probably seen them. But anyway, like, should we talk about Rocky's cancer subplot?
Oh, that he so yeah, the subplot again, a la Rocky 1 or Rocky 2, Mickey's having the same issue.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of rhymes, you know, and I like that. I like that. And he starts to go down the path of making the same mistake that Mickey did, which was Mickey was very stubborn. He's very old. He was like, fuck it. If I'm going to die, I'm just going to die. And that's just it. And what Rocky has to realize is that even though all of the people he cares about are gone, he has these new people in his life that he cares for. And that he has a reason to stick around for. So
and I like that scene that he had with Michael B. Jordan too, where he just kind of goes like, "Look, if I'm gonna do this, I need you to work with me too." So it's like, if I fight, you fight. I thought it was a great little way to get them work together. And again, it shows how well those characters work well off each other.
And again, for the Rocky fans, it probably made you sad because you saw how he can work with Adonis Creed, but you really wish that Rocky would have said the same thing to Mickey.
Right.
Because Mickey went down and he did not come back.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
It's all sad now.
Right.
But even though the little training scenes in the hospital, again, it's just the characters having fun with each other too. And again, Sylvester Stallone is clearly just having a really fun time with this too.
He's having a good time, and he's such when he's in his own element, he's such a good actor, man. Like
I have total respect for Stallone.
I do too, man, and especially where he came from. If you read or hear about how the first Rocky movie got made,
it's a great story. Just that alone is a great story.
I mean, yeah, it's just... I'm glad it's still around. I'm glad he still has it, and I'm glad he continues to do right by it. I like him.
Yeah, I mean, granted, not all of Stallone's movies are successful necessarily, but
right.
I mean, like modern days.
But he tries things that other people wouldn't try for a person in his position.
Well, it's kind of like Schwarzenegger right now, whereas like I don't know, I feel like these actors are kind of like aging like fine wine out. They're older and they kind of give less of a crap. They're willing to do more of just try shit and just see what happens.
Yep. Oh, I'm still encouraging you to watch JCVD. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
Tell me that wasn't an amazing fucking...
No, I really liked Jean-Claude Van Damme. That was a good movie.
Sideball.
Yeah, we're talking about a very obscure movie called...
But honestly, and I'm not fucking joking, okay? And I'll look in the camera when I say this. The monologue he gives in JCVD is Oscar worthy.
It is, but it does kind of come right the fuck out of nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere. And that opening action scene, too, was fucking amazing. It was like a Hitchcock movie, but with a fight, and nobody had ever done one that way before.
That's true.
It was like all one take.
You can see it a little more nowadays. I think True Detective did that. Daredevil did that recently. I think there was a movie I saw recently that did that, too, with a long action shot. But I'm blanking on what it was at the moment. But, Spectre. Spectre did that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which actually, that was a fucking great shot too.
I did, yeah. But yeah, okay. Just out of the way. But it goes to old actors from different eras still finding ways to become relevant. And they're doing a good job.
I mean, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger did drama earlier this year. It was great.
I keep telling people don't understand. Like, I live for this shit. I teach acting. And I talk to my kids all the time, man. Well, I don't call them kids. I'll call them my students. But I talk to them all the time, and I'm like, hey, you guys can make fun of Arnold if you want to, but you know anybody else who could play a fucking robot and make you believe it? Okay? It's not like he has any kind of physical defects when he starts off in the films.
That's true.
He's just walking around acting like a robot, and I buy that shit every minute. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, dude, the amount of discipline, the amount of body control, the amount of control over your breathing and your voice to even be as stoic as you need to be to play a fucking robot is like, the dude got some skills.
I mean, despite like our issues with Terminator Genesis, he was still the best part about that movie.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And again, we're talking almost 40 years now.
Yeah.
And he can still do it.
Probably doing his sleep at this point.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's if you guys want to talk shit, you want to be critics, and you've never acted before, that shit is incredibly hard. Yeah. Okay, it's incredibly hard. It's ridiculous. Which is why I'm always kind of the third party when I review, and I'm kind of like devil's advocate, because I don't just see what's going on the screen. I see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
As well. You know, I like to see people as their possibilities, not only just what's happening.
I think you're more forgiving on that than I am.
I am.
Mostly it's like, I see what you're trying to do, but I can see how you spectacularly failed.
Yeah. and again, but I mean if nobody failed, then we wouldn't know what a good film is.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that's how you learn. But yeah, that was one of our nice long tangent. But
for sure. And so back to what I was saying, the fights in here, the way that these fights are filmed should define the Rocky series going forward. If the Creed movies get made again, this is what everyone will expect, and that's a good thing because they were all very good. Well, the tension was there.
It's like, going back to the final fight in the movie, and this thing that I noticed is like just how earned all the big moments feel, and that's such a huge hard thing to do in movies, especially when like. Again, it comes back to taking what exists and making it your own. Because when the Rocky theme eventually does start playing in the final fight scene, it's it's like an incredibly satisfying moment.
I like it too. And now that the fighting is fixed, those moments of tension where their cornermen are patching them up and all that stuff from the first Rocky movie, they make way more sense and are way more impactful now that the fighting is done better. You know what I mean? I think those two things together. It does earn the right to be like a Rocky movie at that point. Yeah, because at that point,
it's accepted what it is, and it's accepted that it can transcend what it is, the shadow it's under.
Yeah.
But it still does not hesitate to use what worked in the original movies either. Like, there's even the part where he falls down, like Michael B. Jordan's character falls down, and he can't get back up. And he has flashbacks of memories.
And flashes.
And none of the old flashes of his life at that point do it, but just one flash of Apollo, and he's like, "I'm fucking up, let's go."
Right.
Cue the music, and then just beats the crap out of this guy.
right, and that's it was all good, and that's what I'm saying. So when he gets up and he starts to fight, and the shots are just right, and the right kind of angles to get hit in the face, and everything that puts you through it emotionally was there.
Oh yeah, it's an incredibly satisfying movie.
It was incredibly satisfying, especially when I saw it.
I mean,
I got to go in there and watch it alone up there in the back, and I was like, oh.
How do you get the theater by yourself? Lucky you.
It's the area. It's the area. They go to see certain movies and not others. You know what I mean? So I think what was happening was Mockingjay came out the same day.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was going to see Mockingjay, and I was like, you guys are fools. Okay, I ended up seeing Mockingjay. I ended up seeing it, we won't talk about that. We'll talk about that another time off camera.
Yeah.
But And but Creed, I'm glad that I got to see it the way I got to see it.
Oh, this would probably be my top 10 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely be in my top 10 for the year. I mean, granted, it's been a rough year, but the last quarter of it's been pretty good. Between like this and Spotlight and what else is good's come out recently? Well, those are the two big ones I can think of. Brooklyn was really good.
Okay, and the summer had a couple of good, like Southpaw came out this year. That was
Southpaw. We didn't go see. Mad Max, of course, was the big one.
Mad Max was good. I mean, I'm not a huge Mad Max fan.
Oh, I adored the Mad Max.
But I like the way they make use of the visuals and they try things, and that's kind of been like that's a staple of that franchise. They try shots nobody's ever done. They do things,
But yeah, so you want to talk about trailers then?
Okay. Trailers, but before that, Verdict, go see it.
Absolutely. If you can find it, I don't know if it's still in theaters.
Every bit worth your time. It will probably be in a place where it's not getting very many sales, so go see it before it goes. It'll probably go digital very soon.
More than likely, whenever it comes out, it's definitely.
It was number one at the box office for a couple of weeks, and then it got knocked off, and then faded into obscurity, which it really didn't deserve. So go see that movie. Go see it.
All right, so what trailers do you want to talk about today?
Oh, shit.
You want to start with the big one?
Which one you want to talk about?
I mean, we kind of talked about Batman vs. Superman, I think.
Okay.
But, big one, I think we both have issues with.
Batman vs. Superman, and I've said this, I think, on a couple of videos now. Every time I see a trailer, all of the shots look good, the effects look good, everything looks right.
Except
I have no feeling about it whatsoever. I'm not excited.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Yeah.
I'm not excited. I'm not upset, but I'm not excited. And I've been a comic fan just about as long as you have. Maybe I got a few years on you.
Probably.
But you read more than I do, at this point.
At this point, I do know probably more about the lore.
Yeah. I'm just not excited. And I don't know why. I don't know why, man. I like Zack Snyder. I think he does great films. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 300 was a great movie.
300 is great. I like The Watchmen.
I like The Watchmen too. I think everyone gets an unfair rep.
Well, yeah, and I'm not sure why people are upset about that film. It's damn near page for page like the comic book. I don't understand. There's a few things that are off here and there, but for the most part, it's like right on.
I mean, it's mostly with the ending. I think they kind of dropped the ball on a little bit on that
one. Probably.
But yeah,
I'm not excited, dude, and it worries me.
I don't know. Okay, here's my issue with the newest trailer we got, and I'm sure pretty much everyone has seen this trailer by now.
I've seen it too. Yeah.
Is the fact that there are a lot of elements I like. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I also kind of like the direction that Jesse Eisenberg is taking with Lex Luthor too.
I do too.
Because it's kind of goofy, it's kind of over the top, but
it streamlines it and it modernizes it.
So it's like I'm surprisingly okay with it.
Yeah.
My problem is, and this is a rumor that's going around that I was terrified was true, and it turns out it is Doomsday.
I saw that. And as soon as I saw that, then I was like, okay, you motherfuckers are stupid.
Yeah, and that's kind of where you kind of lost me.
Lex Luthor did not create Doomsday.
Well, that's not even the problem. Is if they want to change the way
that's
Doomsday...
implied.
Yeah, that is definitely what they're doing with it. Like, they modify Zod's dead body and turn it into Doomsday. Is basically what they're going with it.
That's fucking... Well, I guess that would make sense, but not really if you know who Doomsday is.
I mean, that's not my problem with it. My problem is the fact that it's Doomsday at all. Is kind of the fact that it's like, Doomsday was exclusively made for the death of Superman's storyline.
Right, and that's another thing, that's a question that I have for DC and Marvel. What the fuck is the rush? What are you rushing for?
I don't get that either.
The next movie for Marvel is the Civil War. Why? You're skipping like 40 years worth of comic book lore just to go for what you think is current, what everybody's gonna love. Superheroes fighting each other. First of all, you barely put any superhero movies out at the beginning. You don't even make them intersect. There's like 7 groups of superheroes in New York that never see each other. Okay?
That's kind of how comics work out.
And now you want to do the Civil War where they all fucking fight at once? It doesn't make any sense.
I'm actually okay with Civil War because it looks because I trust the Russo brothers.
Yeah, but how many characters haven't been introduced? Okay? There's you got Black Panther. Who's playing Spider-Man? We don't fucking know.
Actually, we do know Tom Holland is playing
Spider-Man. Okay, so they've chosen another one now. Okay, fine. That's fine.
That was announced a while back.
So he's... Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I was doing something else. All right? But, so new Spider-Man. Great. Does he even work? Does he even get a movie to see if he works? No. Throw him in the fight. Mm-hmm. Okay? Black Panther, I love that he's there. But can we get a little bit of backstory before he fights and potentially dies?
He's got his own movie. He's not gonna die.
But it's not out.
True, but it's still.
And plus Chadwick Boseman, dude. I hope you get some rest. I hope you get some rest because you played Jackie Robinson, James Brown, okay, the Black Panther. They're gonna make you play Bill Cosby for the end of this year, bro. Okay, I mean, fuck.
All right, well,
okay, but my point is, what is your rush? You have so much rich content that you can mine from, that you can create these beautiful films from. Superman versus Batman, it never really happens the way that you guys depict it anyway. Mm-hmm. So why rush?
Like DC, I feel like is more guilty than Marvel is because at least Marvel has done enough with like taking their time that I trust them. Like I'm willing to give it a shot. Like I'm willing to see what they're gonna do with.
Yeah, I'll sit and watch it. I'll sit and watch it.
And like I said, I trust the Russo brothers. They did a great job. They've easily made, in my opinion, the best Marvel movie so far, which is Captain America 2. And,
yeah, it was good.
And they're directing the 3rd and 4th Avenger movie. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'm willing to give them a shot. The trailer looks really good. We'll see how they balance everything. We'll figure that out.
Well, if everybody kills each other, how the fuck do we get Avengers 3 and 4? That's what
I'm assuming it's one of those, like, it's like an average crossover superhero tale where no one really ever dies.
And is Civil War going to start with the same way it starts in the comics?
I doubt it.
Because I like that. I like that they're doing the reality show and shit gets out of hand and that becomes.
Well, let's face facts. Civil War was a mess of a storyline. Like it started off strong, but it devolved into a gigantic mess.
And that's because they spread it out over too many issues. Mm-hmm. Which is another thing I don't get why Marvel does that. Like you have to buy Fantastic Four this to get this part of the Civil War storyline. You got to buy this one to get.
Yeah, I never understood that either.
I don't get it. For example, when the Death of Superman came out, it wasn't in any other comic book. It was Superman. And
that's an issue Marvel's had for a while. They did that with Secret Invasion. They did it with Siege. They had that same exact problem. You had to buy all the crossovers to get the full story, which is bullshit. Yeah. I think I've heard they fixed that with the most recent one, like Secret Wars. I heard they really made it like.
So they redid the Secret Wars?
Yeah, but this one's more like where Doctor Doom is basically God. It's kind of great. For her, it's actually supposed to be really good. But it's a self-contained story there. But there's tons of other crossovers are telling their own story in like their own little separate universe. So like it works. Like you get more information, or you learn like a great story when you read the crossovers, but you don't need it to understand the main story, which is I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, back to the movies though. Yeah, my issue with that is like you're using the wrong character at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. You could have come with Bizarro. You could have put Lex Luthor in a fucking robo suit, for God's sake. God knows which.
That's what I like to see. Yeah, I like to see because I find that much more fascinating. I find that much more fascinating that especially with the juxtaposition to Batman, mm-hmm. right? He basically pushes himself towards human excellence mm-hmm. for the good of people, and Lex Luthor on the other side is trying to do it so he can be as good as Superman. Mm-hmm. And I like that juxtaposition. I like that he might have to fight them both. Why do we need this?
We don't. That's the problem. And that's kind of comes down to is like, no. We have to get Wonder Woman in there. We want to get the Cyborg cameo. We want to get the Flash cameo. We got to get Aquaman.
And Wonder Woman, like I said, she looks right. It looks like she's gonna be decent. But why am I not excited?
Yeah, and that's because it looks. The problem is like there's so many glaring flaws, and WB does this every time with every fucking DC movie they make. They don't know what they're doing. And they're trying to throw everything in at once, and it falls apart on them. They did it with Jonah Hex, they did it with Catwoman, they did it with Green Lantern.
And the fucking producers, they need to sit down. Somebody needs to stop them.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, because these producers are just coming to the table with tons of money, and because they have the money, nobody can tell them shit. You know?
Well, it's like, the problem is they don't have a plan. I mean, at least, like, the way Marvel did it, I mean, I'm not saying all their projects are gold.
Yeah, but at least they have the phases.
They worked through
what's happening, yeah.
And they had a plan, and they took their time with it. I mean, say what you will about Civil War. But, like, they earned the trust of the audience as like, okay, we have a plan, we know what we're doing.
Right.
Whether or not it's true the case is not really the point.
And just to reinforce the point, you know, they got the after credit scene, which shows you where it's going next, which we desperately needed for Marvel movies. I'm glad they started to do them. You know, because when a Marvel movie would come out by itself and we wouldn't get that, it would just be like, okay, so what happens if they just don't get made anymore? Like, you know what I mean?
I know, yeah, like one of those things, but
right, like the Spider-Man trilogy, for instance. You know, all the shit that happened there is completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
In the other one, and I'm like,
I don't know. We'll see what they do with Spider-Man. I mean, I'm hopeful, but I mean, the whole Spider-Man thing, that was such a last-minute addition, and they knew it was a last-minute addition. The only reason he's in Civil War at all is because the deal with Sony went through kind of like the last possible second. So.
Right, they did relinquish the rights.
Well, the Sony has the right to make their own Spider-Man movies, but they have a deal with Marvel, so that way they can put them in the Marvel universe.
Fucking Sony! Why would you want to do that? Why?
Money.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have possession of the rights. Why don't you let Marvel make the movie so it'll be more authentic? You make more money, and you won't have to hire anybody, and you won't even have to think about what to do. I guess because they'll do it.
I think that's kind of what that's the issue they ran into, and I think they've come up with a deal that hopefully will work. It's like they are using Marvel supervision to make the Spider-Man movies now, so Marvel is more involved in all that. Not as much as Marvel probably would like, but more than they were before. So hopefully that'll mean we'll actually get like good Spider-Man movies again. Although I like the made Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yeah. The first two Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire were bad. I mean,
Spider-Man 2 is great.
The third one just hit a real big wall. Like they didn't know where to go with it because again, the producers probably came in the room and didn't allow him to do shit.
Not the one he wanted to do anyway.
Right.
And that's what cast Spider-Man 4.
And that's what's up. Like Topher Grace playing Venom. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway.
So that's So my big thing with Batman vs Superman is like they're just using the wrong characters, and that just because like.
And I agree. I'd rather have you introduce the Justice League than introduce Doomsday.
Yeah, right? It's like if you're gonna have Doomsday, it has to be in his own Superman movie, and it has to be for the Death Superman. Like that's the entire point of that character is for that. Using him for anything else is just cannon fodder, and that's completely pointless.
And here's the problem now. Doomsday literally can't fucking be stopped. So if he's the villain, how the fuck is Batman gonna stop him? And how the fuck is Superman going to stop him in one movie?
Yeah.
Okay? Superman can stop him, but how's he going to stop him in one movie? If that's your climax, then the movie literally can't end. You're going to have to set it up for two parts. If you kill off Doomsday, you kill off all your credibility telling the story.
Well, technically, Doomsday's power set is that he does die over and over again, but you can't kill him the same way twice. That's his whole set. So he can die, but he can just come back.
Yeah, but I mean the way that it was is that he destroyed half of fucking Metropolis before Superman even got a handle on how to beat him, and then he expended all Superman's energy, right? Yeah. So that's what I mean. If you have a villain that can outlast Superman, then.
So he should be in his own fucking Superman movie, not in the fucking crossover shit they're doing now.
So like I said, what is your fucking rush? What is your fucking rush? People will come watch these movies.
They want to compete with Marvel. That's what it is. Okay?
Compete with Marvel in a different way. And don't get Ryan Reynolds to play Green Lantern, then you might be able to compete.
To be fair, Ryan Reynolds was the best part about that movie.
You're fucking joking.
I'm kidding. I'm not joking.
You're joking. I love him as an actor, but wrong. No, wrong for the role.
I mean, he would be great as like Kyle Rayner, not as Hal Jordan. But,
yes, exactly. He is not
But
Hal Jordan.
But I compared to the rest of that shit that was in that piece of crap. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was the best part of it.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah. He gives us some levity, but he's in his own movie. And that's the problem that I have with Ryan Reynolds. If he's not playing Deadpool, he's in his own fucking movie all the time. Everybody who's in the movie with him is in a separate movie than Ryan Reynolds. He's throwing out one-liners when they're inappropriate. You know what I mean?
Ryan Reynolds has such a terrible track record with comic book movies between with Green Lantern and fucking Blade Trinity.
But that's and like I said, I teach acting. I act. You know what it's like to be on stage and to be in film. You can tell when you watch Ryan Reynolds that he's acting in a vacuum.
That's true.
Okay? Yeah. He's not giving and he's not receiving. He's just blurting shit out and he's like in front of the camera and that's it. And they allow him to do it. That's why the movies suck.
That's why he's Deadpool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because Deadpool, he was meant to play Deadpool his whole career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hopefully that one won't suck.
But they've given him so many things to see what the fit was. It was either Deadpool or Johnny Storm. You're too big to play Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
You know, physically.
Yeah.
Nobody buy it. So Deadpool is right up his alley. More power to you. I'd like you as an actor. Just stop putting him in places where he doesn't belong. Period. Because Hal Jordan's much more deep.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hal Jordan's much more deep. Kyle Rayner's definitely the fly by the seat of your pants type of guy. He could have even played Guy Gardner better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I completely agree with you.
Like,
don't get. I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. I made a whole video of why I think Green Lantern's one of the best superheroes.
I'm a huge Green Lantern fan too. I love him. I think it's great. All the storylines that I can remember are amazing.
Have you read the Jeff Johns run?
Jeff Johns.
I
know. Is he the writer?
He wrote from Green Lantern Rebirth all the way to Green Lantern.
When I put the book down, it was Hal Jordan was what do they call him, Parallax or whatever, and he was killing Green Lanterns and taking their rings.
This one the newest kind of storyline they had for him the past, I think when it was crossed over several years, they brought him back. But they kind of explained, they really expanded the Green Lantern universe. They kind of did a reboot on the whole Parallax thing, but it works, and they use it as a way to launch into this whole other universe, and now there's a Red Lantern Corps and a Purple Lantern Corps and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, I did start to see I saw the t-shirts and all that stuff, and I was playing DC Universe Online at the time, so they were putting the content in there.
Yeah, I can explain off camera, but anyway.
Okay, for sure. But bottom line, DC, you're not impressing me right now. And I'm not excited, even though everything that surrounds it says I should be. There's something wrong with it. We're gonna find out soon. But there's something wrong with it.
God, I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't suck. I
don't think it's gonna suck, but I think it's gonna be what we don't like, which is too much stuff at one time. You know what I mean? The dynamic between Superman and Batman and Lex Luthor is already interesting enough. We don't need anything else.
No, we don't. But not according to WB producers.
Yeah, apparently, and and like I said, I would have liked anything better. Introduce the Justice League. Bring the actors in from the CW. They're fucking awesome. Do something. Do something.
You know what's bad when the CW show is doing the whole DC universe better than the actual movies right now.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. What is it about TV producers that movie producers can't duplicate? Like the TV producers, they're crossing over. The thing that I'm talking about all the time, where characters who are cities away from each other should talk. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're in the same fucking city, you should talk. If you go down an alleyway, you should see Blade fighting a vampire. If you swing too far to the left, Daredevil will get mad at you for invading his turf. If you go too high up in the sky, Tony Stark is talking shit to you. If you go down here, Mr. Fantastic saves you and you promise to have coffee with him later. You know what I mean? Whatever. That's
probably Mr. Fantastic is the friendliest of these in your...
Yeah, well, because he is. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? You want to run away, you get in some crazy genetic mutation, you go out into the country, Charles Xavier helps you out for a little bit. That's what I'm saying. Like, why? Why can't we do this? It would be so fucking cool.
That would be cool, but it's never going to happen. It would be cool. Too many just horrible right issues.
But yeah, I'm not excited. I should be. That's a problem.
All right. So what was the other trailer you had in mind?
You're going to get flame on this comment section.
Brain it. Fuck it. Come on.
Star Wars.
Really? Alright.
Star Wars.
You worried about Star Wars?
I'm worried.
Okay. I'm worried.
But, so again, okay, so let me
Oh, the hats come off for this. Okay.
All right. All brain power. Okay, go. All right. The trailers look amazing.
Okay.
The acting performances look amazing. They brought all the original characters back, which was my requisite for even sitting in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you're going to do 7, bring them all back. They brought them all back. Okay? I'm happy. Everything is lined up to be perfect. Here is the issue that I'm having.
Okay.
When J.J. Abrams took over the Star Trek franchise, it was a welcome addition because he seemed to get the pacing right. He seemed to get the visuals right. He seemed to get the storylines and how they intersect correctly. Mm-hmm. And Star Trek is a franchise which takes itself very seriously. Mm-hmm. It's like hardcore science fiction.
Yeah.
So his approach worked for that. Here's my problem. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their issues with George Lucas. Everybody has their issues with the prequels. I, for one, I think the prequels are okay for the time that they came out.
Okay.
Right? I'm a person who says that George Lucas made the original trilogy for us as kids. He made the prequel trilogy for the kids of that era. Okay? Mm-hmm. Which is why we don't like it as much. Mm-hmm. All right? They required something different. I had a conversation with somebody the other day who was saying, "Oh, dude, you have no fucking clue. When I was a kid, I loved Jar Jar Binks. I used to talk like him, and my whole family got irritated and shit like that. And that right there proves my point.
No,
because it's a different era.
If we're gonna talk about that, I have to make a confession that still makes me sad.
What?
I actually dressed up as Jar Jar Binks for Halloween night.
I knew it.
And I'm not proud of it.
Okay,
but I did it.
Okay, so
I still use that mask to scare people.
That's hilarious. So here's my point. Okay, the Star Wars trilogy is all about taking elements of sci-fi, fantasy, technology, but there is one big thing that and it's the whole reason why we enjoyed the original trilogy more than the prequels. Mm-hmm. There is levity. There is humor.
Okay, you don't think there's gonna be any jokes in this movie?
There is none.
You don't
I can tell. Okay? In an age where a trailer basically shows you 3/4 of the movie, I can tell you right now. Don't get me started
on that. Yeah.
But I'm saying the levity it looks like it's sucked right out of the film. And that's what I'm saying. It's a space opera. J.J. Abrams has this thing where he takes these concepts that are really cool, but he takes himself very seriously as he does them. If a space opera takes itself too seriously...
Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek did have a lot of levity in it.
Yes. But the parts he nailed were the technical components that makes up what every Star Trek fan loves. That's why they gave him a pass. You know what I'm saying? Kirk is funny. Mm-hmm. He's funny. Yeah. Right? Spock is not. Okay? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The things that go on, one step away from annihilation is not funny. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Kirk is all of that into one. That's always been that way. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, overall, the film takes itself, the technology, its vision of the future, all of the components to the characters, very seriously.
That's fair.
And Abrams is a master at doing that. Taking these things that most people can't even understand and make you involved in it, right? So you're going to get a lot of new Star Wars fans that are really into it, but they're taking it too fucking seriously.
Okay.
you get what I'm saying? Like for instance, you got Han Solo in the trailer. You got Han Solo talking to what we think is his daughter. There are stories. It's true. All of it. This is dead, stone-faced. Mm-hmm. Okay? Do you remember how much shit he talked about Jedis?
That's true.
Okay? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, even after he saw Luke do that shit, he was still like, nah, I still don't believe it. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. But now he's like, it's all true. All of it. Da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? And I'm I'm like, where is the...
I mean, I guess...
Where's the Han Solo in the Han Solo?
I think it could just be the fact that the worst parts of the original, the prequels, was the humor, and the fact that it continually shoved it down your throat. They may want to take a different approach with it to see if that works better.
Well, I think part of the prequels' problem is that it suffered from the same thing, too. You know, like there was few and far in between the humor that we like in a Star Wars movie. Jar Jar was, like, tacked on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he wasn't the only one. There was also like tons of other little minor characters that were there for comedic relief, and that failed miserably.
Yeah, but if you put him there for comic relief, then it almost 9 times out of 10 always fails. If a character that you've grown to care about says something funny, that's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, Han Solo in 1 second will shoot you in the face, and then he'll say something funny. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. He takes himself very seriously. That's why it's funny. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's like I'm saying a joke, wink wink, then it's not funny. You know? Or for instance, like the banter between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, I find that mildly humorous. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, well, you know, you said the negotiations were going to be short. That kind of shit. I like that. That's Star Wars shit. What I'm saying is, it just looks too fucking serious. It looks... The reason why I got involved in the Star Wars... Like, the first movie I saw was Return of the Jedi. Okay? So, I literally walked into it when Luke is already a Jedi. Right? And he's there about to die. He jumps off the diving board, does a flip, turns on this laser sword thing I'd never seen before, and starts killing everybody. Okay? So, I'm in it. Right? Right?
Well, the bikini, I'm sure, helped too.
Right? And yeah... I mean, Carrie Fisher, she's gorgeous. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm in it, right? But ever so often, he goes to see Yoda, and I'm like, okay, who's this guy? And they're talking. Yoda cracks a joke at him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right before he dies. Okay.
Well, it's
like there's this. I don't. And again, if I could put my finger on it, then I could make Star Wars movies and make millions of dollars. But I can't put my finger on why I love it that way. It's just something that I love. And it feels like the levity is getting sucked out of the Star Wars franchise.
Well, could you also make the argument that Empire Strikes Back is arguably like most people's favorite with the Star Wars movies? And that's easily the darkest of the three.
It is the darkest of the three. But remember, they have the fucking incest joke in there. Okay, so,
to be fair, was that I don't think that was intentional at the time, because I don't think they actually decided that they were brother and sister until the third movie.
Well, I mean, whether it's intentional or not, when you put them all together, that's what happened.
True, yeah.
Right?
Which surprisingly has made it through the edited version somehow.
Exactly, right? And that's what I'm saying. The whole top half of that movie has quips, one-liners, jokes, right? Before it gets serious. Before it gets super serious. They still find time to do it. But the reason why it works is because they're characters that we love. We went through the first movie and we're like, wow, they went through some shit together, and now they're kind of back and forth, right? That's why we pay attention. That's why we like it, right? You know, he says some shit. Chewbacca laughs at him. He's like, oh, yeah, laugh it up, motherfucker. Right? You know, it's that kind of shit, right? I have a feeling that is gone. And if it's true, that's sad.
I don't think it will be. Like, I see your concerns, and I just realized you're kind of out of frame here.
I'm sorry, but yeah, like for instance, Finn, he looks like he does a lot of shit without getting a break. Okay,
true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When are they going to find time for levity for that guy?
Like, it's one of them. It's one of those things. I've seen enough of J.J. Abrams projects. I'm willing to like keep an open mind. It could just be the way the trailers played out. They want to play some more serious thing too.
It's true.
Because I mean, let's look at some movies that have made trailers that have been for insanely different movies. Like the most recent example I can think of is like Victor Frankenstein.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
It's a massively entertaining B movie. But the trailer made it look like it's this kind of almost like super serious like sci-fi horror movie. The action movie is actually much more of a comedy.
Really?
And it's kind of fantastic.
Okay. Well.
So again, it could just be the way the editors put together the trailers
it's true.
too.
But I mean, like, I don't see any. If we go back to other J.J. Abrams stuff, I don't see any difference from the Star Trek trailers to how the films ended up. I don't see them, and they got progressively more dark, like Into Darkness. I mean, that's super dark. You know,
well, you're into darkness.
Into fucking
really
darkness.
Dark. Yeah.
Like for real. You know, and matter of fact, they redo the death scene from Spock, and they just flip it around.
Oh yeah.
You know, which is.
I already feel about that. Yeah.
Which is, again, it's super crazy. It's crazy, right? And that's, I'm not hating. Okay?
No, it's a legitimate concern.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams knows what he's doing. He clearly knows how to make films. He clearly knows how to make us watch. Okay? Because I was upset that he was directing the Star Trek movies to begin with. But when I walked out of it, I was like, okay, I see why he was a logical choice to continue this. Right?
Yeah.
For Star Wars, I'm not so sure. Okay. I'm not so sure. I think it's a good move that after he does this movie, they already have directors who are doing the next ones.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Because I think wow, this is going to be exciting. A lot of plot holes from the other films are going to be answered. A lot of stuff is going to get fixed.
Yeah. So whatever doesn't work, the next director can take over.
I'm just afraid of going in there and it's just emotional experience after emotional experience and we don't get a break.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean,
because for me that changes the Star Wars movies to, okay, I'm going to watch them at home.
Okay.
I don't want to go out to the theater and do that. You know?
We'll find out next week.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to the sneak preview on the 17th.
Lucky you.
Well, it's in Hollister. If you can get tickets, why don't you come with us?
That'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
I
don't know how to get tickets, but
I asked Andy Garcia and Katie Hipple if they want to come.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cool. I'd be down for that. That'd be cool.
So, but yeah, that's what I'm worried about. That I'm worried that with all this nostalgia, we're gonna get wrapped up in the seriousness of this, and we're not gonna remember that this is a space opera.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, people levy complaints at George Lucas all the time, but here's the thing: the prequel scripts were no better than the original trilogy scripts. They weren't. Okay?
Yeah.
The stuff that they said in the original trilogy was still ridiculous.
Yeah.
It just so happened that you got three of the most talented no-name actors that you could find, and they delivered that shit with amazing accuracy and ferocity that made me want to watch, right?
Yeah.
So the prequels, you had a pretty good cast, but some were better than others, okay? That's all it was. You know, it was not the writing, it was not the arc of the story, it was the people he chose. Okay, I know for a fact Leonardo DiCaprio auditioned for Anakin Skywalker. That would have changed the entire color of the fucking series.
Yeah, no kidding.
Altogether.
Oh my god.
Okay, if we would have got him as Anakin, that shit would have been awesome.
Yes, it would have.
Okay, so again, just a few key changes, and you got an award-winning thing.
How the hell that fucking what's his name get it? Hayden Christensen.
I know why he chose him. Okay, because Hayden Christensen. Remember the era that George Lucas comes from. Okay, he's from like Fresno, Dinuba area. Okay, American Graffiti.
Yeah.
Joyriding, hot rodding, 50s, 60s. Right. Hayden Christensen looks like the actors of those era. He looks like a James Dean. He got the eyes and the focus and his swagger and the way he talks. It just so happens that he just was not prepared as an actor to take on the gravity of somebody like Anakin.
Okay.
Right? I see why. And by the way, Hayden Christensen's a great fighter. His stage combat is really good.
I'm sure.
You know, well, just watch the fights.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like watch the fight or watch him train for it and like the little behind the scenes things.
Yeah.
You know, he's good, but his vocal quality was garbage.
Yeah.
His inflection was garbage.
Yeah.
And he didn't do the work.
No.
You know, you got Natalie Portman in front of you, and I don't believe that you love her. Everybody loves Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of hard not to like Natalie Portman.
Put somebody in your place. You know. Okay. Fall in love with Natalie Portman. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, man. We're like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Right. Exactly.
I love Black Swan.
Right. But all of a sudden, you know, the chemistry's dead between them because he's just young minded. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how long it's going to take him to get out of that. He just wasn't the right guy. Well, we can't blame George Lucas for that other than choosing the casting director who chose him. Right?
Yeah.
The scripts, they're the same. That's what I worried about, especially. And I saw this interview with George Lucas where he was talking about that. He was like, you know, I made the movies that I wanted to make, and the fans got mad at me. But they have to understand that it's about a hero's journey. It's not about spaceships and lasers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that goes back to Joseph Campbell, the stuff that he used to read when he was in college, and the stories that he made based on that. We can't lose sight of that. I can't help but think that people who are going in expecting something are going to come out with something missing.
True, but at the same time, you can also argue whether or not the hero's journey, just because it's a hero's journey, means it's good or inherently bad.
Right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's what kept us all enthralled.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, it wasn't the lightsaber fighting, which is cool. It wasn't the spaceships, which is awesome. It wasn't all of that stuff. It was this overarching story of this young man who had no idea of his lineage, and he sought to prove himself, and ended up in this huge conflict that defined his character. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. That's why we like Star Wars.
All right. Well, I think that's probably the best possible teaser we can give for the Star Wars review next week.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying. Like, I don't want to be right. I don't want.
No, like I feel that way about Batman vs Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I don't want to be right with that either, and I don't want to be right about Civil War. I want to go to see the movies. I'm a person who is willing to suspend my disbelief in the craziest circumstances.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I talked about for like 26 minutes about how much I like Victor Frankenstein, so clearly I am too.
Right,
so.
Right. And I'm saying, like, I don't say these things. I don't try to create doubt in people's minds just because.
Yeah.
You know,
like, of all the people I know, Ron, you've always had probably been one of the few people I respect the most.
Oh, thank
so
you.
It's like, even if I don't agree with you, I know like your opinion's always going to come from like a logical place.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm not just going to pull this out of my ass.
No, I mean, you never have as long as I've known you.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like, I definitely get what you're saying. I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. I definitely see where you're coming from, though.
Yeah, I could be wrong. It's just I'm being bombarded with images of nothing but conflict.
That's true.
Right now.
I think it's mostly the marketing. That's what I'm thinking it is.
It may just be the marketing, but and that's crazy because it's from Disney.
Yeah, really.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know when Disney does a Marvel advertising too, like they did with Civil War.
But it makes me worried about their plans for the future too, because they introduced Rebel 1, and I thought that's a hell of a concept, right? But again, that's about a group of people who get the plans for the Death Star. How are you going to make?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. We'll see.
How can that not be nothing but a bloodbath? You know?
Oh, it's a spin-off movie. You're kind of allowed to do more dark
right?
It's a spin-off movie.
Like, are you good? I mean, you got Donnie Yen in that. He's going to crack jokes? Really?
Well, I said it's worth the price of a ticket.
It man. You know what I mean? Like,
it'd be worth seeing the movie just to hear crack jokes.
No, I'm going to watch them all. Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch them all. And there's gonna be tons of stuff that I love. If I can love stuff about the prequels, I can love stuff about anything, right? Because there are glaring, obvious issues with the prequels.
Oh yeah.
But I still care about them. I still like them. You know what I mean? I like them in their own ways. I like them because they address issues that sci-fi sometimes shies away from.
Yeah, absolutely. You know all right, so I think we've talked about in this video. So go see Creed.
Go see Creed. Go see Creed. Go see Star Wars 2.
Yep, and I think as far as other movies we got going on, I think the biggest one obviously is Star Wars this Friday, but we also have In the Heart of the Sea that we're going to try to go check out later this week.
Okay, what is that about?
It's basically like the story that inspired Moby Dick, I guess.
Hemsworth.
Yeah, Hemsworth.
Okay,
yep.
Hemsworth.
So Thor takes on a whale.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's Civil War now. So is Thor really Thor? Is he the dude or is he the chick? We don't know.
God, I hope they don't bring Chlor into this movie.
I'm saying they're rushing it so much. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I can kind of tell you. They've already announced who all the Avengers are. Like, I mean,
who's there?
It's gonna be Ant-Man, the Vision, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Black Panther. We already talked about that one.
Right.
Captain America, Iron Man, obviously. Winter Soldier. It's like 16 total.
Okay.
So,
but that's not the whole Marvel universe, though.
No, obviously not.
Yeah, like
Thor's not in there. Hulk's not in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking Civil War. So Hulk and Thor are not in that movie?
No, they're gonna be actually both Hulk and Thor are gonna be in the third Thor movie.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't even know that. Okay, but then doesn't Cable have a role in the Civil War?
Small part.
Don't you got Isaiah Bradley's grandson? You got Patriot, who is like the Captain America young version. You got
there's a lot of fat from it.
Luke Cage.
Well, Luke Cage is getting his own TV show, so.
Well, yeah. After he's done sexing up Jessica Jones every
Damn
episode.
Right, Damn right, he's sexing up Jessica Jones. Wouldn't you if you got the chance?
Yeah, no.
They're breaking the beds, dude.
That's so funny, dude. One of my boys, he's a rapper, and he's got a very interesting dialect, and he's always typing on Facebook. Damn. I'm only 4 episodes into Jessica Jones. Luke Cage already smashed that 4 times. You know what I mean? I was like,
all right, we're gonna stop there because I think we've been talking for like an hour. So thank you guys for watching. See you all later.
All right.